Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man. What is going on, crypto fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Nightcap. We're doing this every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're giving you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use for tomorrow. And today we got all sorts of news. Some of it's a little bit political. We got to talk about Kamala's policy as well as the pro-crypto stance that Trump is taking and how that might actually be influential here in the next presidential election. But with that being said, I got a co-host. I got the man, the myth, the legend, FD White. How you doing, man?
Oh man, TradeFly, how you doing? I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm just little bamboozled about these new policies that's have came out today, but we're gonna talk about it, man. But we'll see. We'll see, man. We keep coming through headwinds with the crypto space, but we always prevail. So let's get into it, man.
Yeah, right on. And we got a new mover up in the top 10 we were talking about a little bit. I guess we'll get there once we get over to the market pulse, but a big name is no longer in the top 10. So we will talk about that. And I did forget to get you your intro music. You know, we got to jam out. Yeah. All right. With that being said,
Yes,
let's go
sir.
ahead and start getting into some of the news here. First up, we got Trump. You guys know it. You guys, I won't say most of you, some of you were actually down at the Bitcoin conference. He was actually a speaker there. So he is very, very
We
much
got we
taking
got
a,
a blank screen, TradeFly. I'm sorry
of
for cutting you
course,
off.
of course, of course I do. Got to refresh again. No worries. I got y'all covered here. Let's go ahead and find this real quick. Worst part is it was all working. All right,
VC Pork
external
Crow
screen.
Ada is dying. We'll talk about it, man. We'll talk about it.
He knows.
Amy Lives
He
Crypto. Hey,
knows.
French Toaster. We got everybody pouring in. Eric Wallen pouring in. Alexandra G, greatest mod to do it. All right, sorry, go back. I'm back to you.
Nah, you're good. I'm all for giving a little couple shout outs in the chat,
Yeah,
man.
man.
It's
I was
something
just
we
looking at the
missed.
chat, man. I was looking at the chat, and some of the faithfuls have came in, poured in. So I gotta shout them out. Gotta give them praise, man. Appreciate you guys for coming over this
Hell
evening.
yeah.
So hopefully we can give you some alpha.
Oh yeah. We got Eric Balla Wallen in here. Harp. He said nice afternoon with some coffee. I hope you're not drinking coffee this late, man. I know I can't do that. Not on normal days. On nights like tonight when I work, then yeah, I can do some coffee. Baba Yes. Hey, 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 how you doing? Bucks in here. And caffeinated crypto. Hey man, he's throwing you some love, man. He's just throwing your emojis out there. There it is. Let's go. French toaster, my man. Hola. And there it is. Somebody saying I'm pimping the blue light. You know it. You know it. Username called me out yesterday, so I had to make some changes in life. There you go. You got the blue light. That's for you, username. I hope you watch this. All right. All right, cool. Let's get back over to the news here. And what we were talking about is basically Trump's pro crypto stance, right? And it's really becoming a topic of conversation if that is going to be influential when we get to the presidential elections. But one of the things everyone's really asking about is what is Kamala's? We don't know. She hasn't taken a stance. She's actually been very, very quiet on it. And, there's actually rumors that she might be bringing your boy
Gary Gensler in as part of her staff. So good luck with that. Hope you enjoy it. Um, Goodness gracious. Over to the next news. Uh, it looks like Trump is making a crazy comeback in the polls. Who believes these things, anyways? Not me. But right now, he is now up 1%, but he erased a 10% percentage point lead in just over a week, which is crazy to think about. All right, next up is BlackRock spot ETF. So that actually, it had a transaction of over $700 million today, and they now own 350,000, more than 350,000 Bitcoin. So let it sink in. BlackRock is dominating right now. I do think there is going to be a topic of discussion at some point that BlackRock, I think, is going to start trying to take over some of the mining companies as well. I think they want to dominate the entire space, almost like an ecosystem. Like think like Apple. You want to control all aspects of it. I think it is a matter of time before you see them enter into that game, but that is to be seen. All right, FD man, what do you think? I guess we'll start with the political aspect of it, talking about crypto, what the stances is between the candidates, and do you think that'll actually have an impact on this next election?
Sometime, man, we're so embedded in the space. Like, I don't really know how big our voice is, to be completely honest. I don't know if we're gonna swing or sway, the market or push a candidate over the top or dump a candidate. I'm really not sure because everybody I talk to now on a consistent basis, like you guys, like the community, like the academy, is all into crypto. I can't even really hold conversations outside of this space like that anymore because it all just correlates to everyday life nowadays. So crypto makes you go down that rabbit hole. So looking at those polls and looking at the poly markets and whatnot, I'm not sure how much I agree or how much I trust that, but kind of knew when she came out with her stands, with her economic plans or details, it was going to falter a little bit. So, the honeymoon phase is over. They got Joe Biden up out of there. Kamala took over. The honeymoon phase is over. Now, if you really notice, like, I'm not really against or for, anything right now on this channel, but if you really notice, like, they don't really let her say much. Have you noticed? Has anybody else noticed that? Like, she doesn't really like talk a lot and like she doesn't do like press conferences like that, live press conferences, really a lot of like sit downs, like in-depth sit downs. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I want to see what anybody for these hairs for crypto or crypto for hairs people I saw X or Twitter. What are they saying about all these new rules and regulations that in her economic plan that just came out? I want to hear from them. Anybody in the chat, coming from that side. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on too. I'm just as clueless right now, as the next person. But everybody in crypto, we want a pro crypto president. So, there's the
Yeah.
answer right there.
So two things, like I 100% agree with you that we are just a small piece of the pie, man. We very small piece, and that was a discussion I've been having recently. Of when you're talking about expanding within the space, and just from a content creator perspective, we're very much a niche, right? Subject. We're
Yeah.
focused on crypto. There's a bigger market out there, a much bigger market. Think about that. The total market cap of crypto altogether is less than some of these institutions or businesses as a whole,
Yeah.
right? So
Some
that's how
stocks. Yeah.
small we are. That's how small we are.
So
And so,
Yeah. Eric Wallen. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say Eric Wallen, really quick, made a good point. He's saying 70% of Americans own stocks, and she's going after capital gains. I saw something like 25% of unrealized gains as well, on top of the 40 something percent capital gains tax. So she doesn't want, they're kind of pushing. I've been reading these books lately about communism and socialism and all that, and capitalism and all the isms out there, and it's smelling a little bit familiar. I'm not gonna say the names right now, but it's smelling a little bit familiar, price caps and all that stuff that didn't never worked in the past. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, man. We'll have to see. It's going to be an
It
interesting two
is
months.
it is interesting, and somebody asked what kind of pie is it. I'm gonna go with a pecan pie. Okay, that is my favorite during the Thanksgiving time frame. So pecan pie is what kind of pie we are here. But That being said, I do agree. I don't feel like Kamala has really had much of a presence during her like vice candidate or vice president candidacy, I guess. Like she doesn't talk a whole lot. I actually talked about that I think a couple of weeks ago on the morning show, and I'm just like, we really don't know much about her. Like it's very
Right.
interesting. Like she definitely kind of lurks in the background quite a bit. So it will be interesting now that she is front and center. She has to be the face that runs the place. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and that's about what I can say. We just have to kind of keep our ear to the ground and kind of keep is in the know as much as we can. But
Right.
that being said, let's get over Retro Mike Tech. He gifted one Piper Academy membership. Thank you so much. Mike is always very, very giving, so it's much appreciated. That membership went to Baba Yes. I've been seeing you in the chat. Let me know if I'm actually pronouncing that correctly. Is it Baba? 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 I don't know. You let me know. But let's see who else is in there. We got the
We got somebody,
Deadwood.
the Deadwood. Yeah, I've never seen that name before.
I
Maybe you've
haven't
seen it, man.
either.
Shout out to the yeah, shout out to the Deadwood, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
He said, "Hello, all basement dwellers."
Hey, I'm
Well,
actually in the
I'm.
basement right now.
I'm not even gonna tell you where my studio at home is, man. It's almost embarrassing. It's in my closet. So there you go.
Hey, you
There's
got
one
to
for
do
you
what you got to
guys.
do, man.
I know the chat's about to get a little silly now. And then my man Alex O Crypto is in the chat. He's my twinsy. If you guys don't know, he's got a phenomenal channel and community. Please get over there, support him. Retro Mike Tech also has his own YouTube as well, social media. Check him out as well. And then Amy Lives Crypto. She's doing it, man. She's doing it well, and she has a lot of really, really good educational slash long form content. Much love to all three of them. We just love seeing other people do well in the space. We are all
Shout
about
out to
that.
that
So,
morning show too with Lunar Beaches and Blackie Chan too. There were two, I
yep.
think 2 or 3 shows in, doing an excellent job, man.
Yeah,
Excellent job
yeah.
over there.
They are fine tuning it, and then they are gonna go live on Piper Academy here shortly. I'm really excited about that. I think it's gonna be really cool what we're doing. I think it's gonna really turn into almost like a network, and we're gonna really just kind of take over your day. So I hope you guys love seeing our faces because there's gonna be a lot of it. All right, over to our next segment. Go ahead, sound the alarm, bring on FUD because it's coming. All right, FD gave you a little precursor here, but Kamala Harris has officially endorsed Biden's 2025 capital gains tax proposal, which would raise long term capital gains taxes to 44.6%. Let
Oh
that
my
sink
goodness.
in. All right, now I don't know if that is actually going to affect us, as in the smaller individuals. I do know that when I saw this originally, which was some time ago, it was a little bit more towards the higher earners. I can't remember the
Yep.
actual cutoff. I'm sure somebody's going to put it in the chat here, but keep that in mind. It may not actually be applicable to you per se, but the thing is, it could have a trickle down in legislation, right? They get this approved. Next thing you know, it is you. So, stand by for that. But that being said, what else we got here? The plan has also proposed a 25% tax on unrealized capital gains for wealthy individuals. So maybe that's a segment I'm talking about where it was saying that there's a huge variance between us and those that make a lot of money. Any tax on unrealized gains, in my perspective, let me just put this out here, it's criminal. Like that should not be
Yep.
allowed whatsoever. And think about the burden that puts on you doing your taxes. Think about the burden that's going to even put on the IRS to track that, right? So, I mean, you taxing taxed money that you already paid taxes on to then pay
Oh my
taxes
goodness.
again on
It's
top
so
of
it is.
taxes,
I don't understand.
taxes
I
times
don't
three
understand
times
it.
four. Like, come on, guys.
You
That's
know,
banana land. Okay, so I
that's
I
what it
will.
is.
Yeah, the one thing that you can bank on with the old orange man so is that will be a lot more clear in terms of like how that's going to be broken up. I think the tax like plan and things when it comes down to like the financials I think there's going to be a more clear path just on that side of it. But
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sway anyone on what they feel. All right, cool. What do
I
you
gotta say
you
something
got any
about that
thoughts?
because
Yeah, you got any
I
thoughts? I
see
want to
some
hear.
people.
I want to hear what you got to
I gotta
say.
stop the chat. Chat, stop.
Uh
I gotta stop the chat because the chat is over here saying that's not for us. It's for people with $1 million invested. Like, what are we in here for? We're trying to get to that. We got to
we
speak
are
it
trying to be
into existence,
millionaires.
man. We're gonna be, yeah, we're gonna be the ones who is gonna be taxed 85%. Speaking into existence right now, man. Come on now. We got to speak
Yo,
it all into existence. A lot of, yeah. So,
hey, I mean, we
um,
do say it's not for us, but like full transparency, like I mean, I really plan on within the next 2 years having that amount of capital invested. And that's,
yeah.
just being very honest. Like crypto was not all I do. I promise you that. Like I have other investments. I've been doing this for a really long time. I started like when I started in the military. I've been in the military for over 20 years. So once I had that capital coming in, I started my investment. That's when my journey started. So understand that
Mhm.
there are people, I am probably a little bit older than you might think. It's stacking up, and like Piper, I know his portfolio alone just in crypto, I think within the next year or two is definitely going to be, at that level. So are we going to tax the shit out of him or what? So good luck with that,
Right.
Piper. you
Yeah.
know all right, cool. Let's go ahead and get over to the market pulse. Let me get this all set up. Here we go. Market pulse. All right. The total market cap is sitting over $2 trillion, down 0.3% over the last 24 hours. 24-hour trading volume is at 82, almost 83 billion, which is up 13.9%. Remember, yesterday was a big move as well. I think it was up about 30%. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 53.7%, which is down 0.11%. Crypto fear and greed index is sitting at 26, which is fear. That actually, I mean, that's getting pretty close to extreme fear, which is interesting, right? Because uh, the price action is pretty stable-ish. We had that bump down to, about 50K or so, but after that, we had a nice little move back up, and we're kind of establishing a range right now. So not really sure why the fear and greed is actually on the low end there. But that being said, let's go over to the economic calendar. FOMC minutes is coming up on the 21st of August, and Fed Chair Powell is going to be talking August 23rd. So that is coming up. So FOMC minutes is actually tomorrow. So tune into the morning show with the Piper Academy OC. I think, no, that's just going to be OC and Piper on tomorrow. Maybe, hey, FD, maybe if you want to get on there, hit up Piper. You guys can talk
Yeah.
about the FOMC minutes tomorrow. Let's get into the crypto bubbles. You got HTX sitting at 30.7%, Brett 12.9%, BTT 13.5%, TRX, Tron is up 12.8%, and we'll talk about that one here in a second. WIF is up 6.4, Floki's up 6, and there's a couple other movers there, but let's see who's to the downside. Ondo is down 5.4. Jasmine down 3.7. Sui, we were talking about that one. That's down 3.8%. I do want to do some research on that because I heard TA Tim talking about Sui today. It seems like it might actually be a pretty good project, so I am going to do some research on that. Other than that, nothing too crazy on the downside here. Market's pretty stable today. Looks like everything's kind of, -3 to 5% or so. Nothing too crazy there. All right, let's look at the top 10. So Bitcoin currently at 59,200. That is down 1.67% over 24 hours, down 2.61% over 7 days. Not so bad. Ethereum sitting at $2,584, and that is down 2.5% over 24 hours and down 4.45%. But there's one big mover on the list, and that is Tron. That is now number 10. Tron has moved into the number 10 spot. Now, there's a lot of people that are very much anti-Tron. Okay. Now, I will use it like sometimes, like in terms of moving money around. I've really actually lately just been using Solana. It's super cheap, it's super fast. But I know a lot of people still shuffle funds around using Tron. It does
Yeah.
work.
Me. Yep.
It's
Yep.
worked for a long time, right? So
Hmm.
that's good. That is now up 25.13% over 7 days. But look who is no longer in the top 10. Womp, womp, womp. Cardano. is down to number 11. Now it is up
Mm.
over the last 24 hours, 1.31%, up 1.79%, nothing really to write home about, but it's still sitting at 34 cents. 34
Oh my goodness.
cents, which is crazy to think about. Like, I've talked about this a few times. Everybody is like, still like kind of bullish on Cardano. I won't say everybody. Okay, there's still people that are bullish on Cardano. But the thing that I'm trying to point out to them is like, okay, let's take 2023. All right, there's no denying by the book, it was a bull market, right?
Hmm.
You had a significant enough move in price action that it would be classified as a bull market. All right, and then some. All right, it moved about 100%, like in all transparency. So Cardano did not. Cardano did not move with everyone else. And when you start seeing Bitcoin move, Ethereum move, and you're playing whack-a-mole with all the memes, and then Cardano didn't keep pace, like that's scary. And that's why I have not, continued to allocate anything to Cardano, even though really at 34 cents, I would have been jumping for joy probably a couple years ago. I was actually really
True.
excited to get Cardano sub dollar. So there was a
Mm.
couple days where it went under a dollar and I was like, yeah, won the jackpot. And I rode that up to, I think it was like $2.60. That was my exit, at least with my larger portion of capital that I was using. And at the time I was mad at myself. And I was like, damn, like it went up over $3. And I was like, my buddy was right. This thing's going to $5 easy. And now here we are sitting and staring at it at 34 cents while Bitcoin is flirting with, 50 to 60,000. So if you go back and look at the charts and when Bitcoin was at 50 to 60,000 and what Cardano was at that point in time, you realize something is wrong. Something is off.
Yeah.
I don't know what, okay, because I haven't done enough research to be smart enough. We got A to Ace for that. He's in our Discord. So there's a little pitch for him. Come on over to our Discord. He's always dropping knowledge. There he is. He's actually right there in the chat. So, hey, ask him.
I think the like the tech and like Cardano is fast and cheap. The tech has been they've been slowly but surely rolling things out. I don't ever hear of like a hack on on the chain. It's like so right now it's just a matter of popularity. Like our Ada is not popular. Charles Hoskinson, he's really not popular outside of the Cardano lovers and the Ada lovers. I like them. I like Cardano. I like it. It's fast, it's cheap, but I'm gonna make a prediction right here on the show tonight. I
Uh-oh.
think when we really start moving, we're gonna have a run of the old coins, Matic, ADA, XRP, what's some other coin? Litecoin, Bitcoin
AVAX.
Cash. AVAX. I think AVAX is not too. Yeah, we can probably throw AVAX in there.
I
Yeah,
mean,
AVAX. I
it's a
think
few
those
years running
coins.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true, true, true. I think AVAX. Yeah, we can throw AVAX in there. I think these coins are gonna. I don't think they're gonna go to these crazy numbers that like I always say, everybody talk about. But I don't think they're just gonna be like super stagnant and
Yeah.
just fall too far behind for too much longer. When the market gets to moving, like everything that we're talking about, this is in my experience. I like to come with my experiences. In my experience, these coins don't move and they don't move and they don't move till they move, and then you just all else goes out the window. So
Yeah.
a lot of people are really, really, bullish on ADA. I wouldn't sell. I wouldn't buy if you're holding. I would hold. I'm holding a lot. Over 10K worth. I mean, over 10,000 coins, but I got it like under 10 cent. So my position right now is I'm like maybe like a 3x up. So if we go up back to all time highs, I think all time highs maybe like maybe $2-3. I'll start scaling out heavy if we, start going past psychological numbers like $1, $2,
Yeah.
$3. A lot of people is calling for like 20, 30, $40. That's not happening. Not no time soon.
Nah, I agree with that. And Cardano was late to the party last run. I do remember
Yeah.
Bitcoin made that move up. Cardano was definitely lagging. I want to say that Cardano hit its all-time high much later than Bitcoin, if I remember correctly. So,
Hmm.
that's definitely a trend for ADA to be kind of a lagging project in terms of price action. We're talking about a year now. Like we're not talking about like a month or something like that. That's why I really have concerns. And I think a lot of it, like you
But
said,
it
I think
did it did go up to 80 cent though, didn't it? I think I haven't looked at the chart in a minute, but I think it in March or something, it might have got up to
yeah,
like 80
we
cents.
were talking about a dollar again. I remember that, and I was like, "Hey, a dollar is my line in the sand to
Let me
like
see.
truly
Uh-huh.
figure out if we're gonna be bullish again." So 80 cents, I think it was definitely up there. I'm quite confident you're correct with that because I remember saying, "Hey, dollar is your psychological number." I think there's gonna be resistance
Yeah,
there because that was like your buying opportunity from the previous cycle. So that was one of the
right.
things I was talking about with Cardano. But yeah, man, it's so low right now. But I do want to go back to a point, revisit a point that you made, and I agree with you. Marketing, right? Marketing is big, and I think Cardano hasn't done a great job with that. Charles is pretty good about getting out into the spaces and kind of he likes to talk, that's for sure. Once he gets going, he is a little abrasive though when he does get talking, so you got to be careful with that. That does not, that's going to rub some people the wrong way, but it does fit in with a lot of the communities in the crypto space because we are a younger generation overall. So the
Right.
professionalism is a little bit different when it comes to talking about crypto sometimes. But that being said, like I just, my mindset with Cardano back in the previous cycle was I kind of compared them to Apple. Like, they would come out with the same things, the same type of tech that other people had already done a long time ago, but they were doing it
Mhm.
right. And they were making sure that they back tested and that when they were rolling these
Yeah,
things out, they were doing it the right way. And I truly believed in that.
yeah,
And I actually that's what drew me into Cardano. I was like, I really like that they're doing that. They're doing it, they're trying to do everything the right way, but that is impeded their progress because crypto is a very fast moving world, right? These technologies come
mhm,
out so fast and people are just like, we're gonna put this in. It's like Solana. All right, think about Solana. They implemented that and they just, how many times did the network go down? But it didn't matter because they kept putting in the tech and they kept giving it utility like instantly. They're like, you know what, we're gonna start using this and we're gonna have to learn on the fly. I was like on the job training for Solana. And I think that actually played into their favor, and you saw them
yeah,
bypass Cardano because really Cardano was
mhm,
above Solana when you're talking about last cycle, not in terms of price action, but in terms of where they were in their implementation of the actual product. So,
yeah.
that was just one of my
What? Yeah.
observations.
Well, yeah.
What you
One
got?
last thing though, before we move into the charts, with Cardano, it's like I said, the chain. I think the chain is doing well. Like the way they put it together, they took their time to do it. But right now, crypto is not really fundamentally driven. This is mostly a speculative space. Like, and if you don't have the market, if you don't have the hype behind you, then that speculation is not going to be behind your project. But I do think Cardano is going to stand the test of times, which is a plus and a pro if you're looking at it that way. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they're going to be around for a long time.
Sorry, man. I couldn't help but laugh. Eric got me with a comment.
Oh, what'd he say?
He's, he said, watching Ada run is like watching Piper run.
Oh,
Eric, that's not right,
uh,
man. That's not right. I just want to let you know that's not right. All right. It's wrong. All right, let's start getting into some charts here. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna turn it over to you, man. Let's see what you got, and then and then I'll follow you up with a little bit of
uh,
Bitcoin. So
so
over
I,
to
I got.
you.
Let me see what I got. So I was really just like right now. The way the market is so choppy. Like Bitcoin is so choppy, so these altcoins are even choppier. So I'm not really not trying to get super chopped out in my trades. So what I'm looking at right now, we talked about this yesterday, and it played out. Like we talked about this upper slope and trend line. I'm trying to really move away from using trend lines as my base case when I trade, but sometimes you just can't deny it. Like we started here, like I said yesterday at the beginning of August, came down here, had a little hammer candle on the 4 hour. This is actually on the 1 hour though. Came down again yesterday during around the show time, a little bit after the show, and then we came down again today. We got up here. Where did we come? So our resistance, this red bar, like support and resistance. We also had on our oscillators, we had money flow going down. We had the VWAP coming down, all while we were rising. So it was a little bit of a divergence, as we were going up and coming down. Then we had the momentum waves rolling over, like I said, all while we were rising on Bitcoin this morning. So that was a little bit of a divergence and probably a good sales signal, but I did not sell. I did not short. I was just waiting to see if we bounced here. I really wanted to long here if we came down to this 58 This 57.9 to 58K level. We never reached that level, so I didn't open along. We just stayed with my trend line. So what am I looking at right now? Let's actually which chart is this? This is not my longer term chart. This is my short term chart. Let's go to my long term Bitcoin chart. Um, yep, here we go. So this one, like we're just in the same thing that we've been in for a little minute right now. We just want to reclaim that 60,000. So right now we keep going, teetering above 60,000, coming below 60,000, teetering above, coming below. Now what I'm seeing is I want to get above like a 62 to 64 because that 60K area not really been doing it for me. So I'm trying to get back above this little area here where I have these circles drawn. I want to get back around this area here and hold that as support for me to turn a little bit more bullish in the short to mid term. But like I said, these next few months, month and a half will be choppy. So I'm sure you got a longer term analysis, a more in-depth longer term analysis. So I'll pass it back over to you. And maybe we'll look at a quick Cardano chart. I'll pull that up and see what we can look at for ADA while you do that.
Right on. Let's go over to Bitcoin on the daily. So I am seeing what FD is talking about. You have what is looking like it's forming an ascending triangle here over, we'll say, since about the 5th of August, right? That's about where we're starting this.
Yep.
But we are retesting this area of resistance. Now, we've said this area is a key area, especially because you have the dynamic reactor, you have the value area low. Let me actually move that because it looks like it's shifted a little bit over time. That kind of happens a little bit. But you also have this major level of support underneath of you. So pretty critical area. Now, I will say my observation, a lot of times you'll see with ascending triangles, what you're looking for is that pressure, right? The pressure that is building up and right. You keep retesting an area a lot of times. In my mind, I think that that's more bullish than bearish. All right. I would say that the probability would be for it to break to the upside, vice the downside. However, that being said, you have a very significant line in the sand here for resistance. If this was an intermediate support level, I'd be a lot more confident in me saying, hey, this is easy peasy, we're gonna break. But like we're talking about the dynamic reaction on the daily, and we're talking about the value area low of the range, right? So that's significant when you're talking about trying to break some resistance. If it does break, a couple things to look for here. All right. This is, we talk about it pretty much every day. All right. Look for it to come up, retest that area, and then look for that move to the upside. All right. This will be your line in your sand. This is the point of control for the range. So definitely look for some resistance there. This is intraday scalping, just to be clear. All right. So you break that area, get a retest, and you're looking for continuation of this beautiful oscillator, by the way. If you guys don't know, Chart Prime has now released a Pro Plus package. All right. So this is phenomenal. All the oscillators look beautiful, and it gives you access to almost everything. So all of the other content creators, some of the biggies that are out there, you'll get access to their tools as well. Go ahead and go down to the description. I'm actually gonna have to update our description. I know in the morning show, there's a link for it, but definitely go check it out and use our link. You will actually get a coupon code there, and I think it's the only one right now for the pro package. Okay, so keep note of that. But so what we're looking for, continuation of the RSI kind of going up and right, or the prime oscillator going up and right. And then you want to break with a retest. That would be a potential area for a long entry. And that is sitting at about 60,800 or so. And remember, it's going to be a little bit of range. It could go all the way up to about 62K. But that's definitely an area of interest that we'll be looking for here. But looking at the predictive natures of chart prime here, you're seeing right now one day, the daily bearish, 4 hour bearish, 60 minutes bearish. Right, so everything is screaming bearish on that part of it. All right, so prophecy is still saying market pump though, so there's a little bit of contradictory there in its analysis in terms of like which way we're going to go with this. But I will say that I would be more bullish in this scenario until we break out of this trend line. So that's what you want to keep an eye on. All right, if we maintain this trend line going up and right and we get a squeeze right here, I'll be looking for a break. If we break out of this trend line, then I would be looking for us to revisit this area of support, which by the time it comes back down there is going to be around 56K. So I think I talked about this area. I would definitely set an alert at around 56K, and you would look for some sort of price action in that area, an area of support. And that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for on Bitcoin. This is a more shorter term time frame, but overall, as we zoom out a little bit on the daily, we're forming a bit of a range. Excuse me there. We're not forming. We've been in a range. We've been in a range since February. Okay. The thing that I don't like is that it's kind of looking like a descending, like broadening wedge, mega, like kind of like a megaphone, right? If you're looking at that. So unfortunately, you're seeing a series of lower highs and lower lows. All right, that's not ideal. So you do want to get over this key area, and I am calling this a key area right now because that's going to give us a little bit more of a warm and fuzzy that we could have the probability for that continuation. But we got to break this point of control, right? So not only do we have to break this resistance, we now have to work against the point of control, and really what you like to see is set another, or not another, but set a higher high in comparison to this last high. All right, so that right there, that'll get me a little bit more excited in terms of us like, hey, are we revisiting all-time highs? But keep an eye on that. In terms of right now, I don't really like where it's headed, but it seems like the institutions are actually still accumulating, right? We kind of talked about BlackRock earlier, so that is still there for you to keep in the back of your mind while we're kind of sitting on the sidelines. They're still accumulating. So that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. I'm going to pass it back to FD, and then I'll hit up a altcoin.
Yeah, so I just was looking at, just did a quick little analysis of Cardano. So I did chart some a little bit back here. It was just a nice little double bottom here. It might have took that long. I don't even remember, but just pull some moving averages, some smooth move, some SMAs on the daily. We got a lot of resistance above us. So if you just look at this as like a naked chart with really not too much, this looks sort of like a bear flag, but we do have money flow coming up. We have our oscillators coming up. We have stochastic looks a bit oversold or overbought at the moment on the daily. So we have some conflicting indicators coming in. But if the market, so when I have conflicting indicators, especially on longer time frames, I just sit back and now I'm gauging sentiment, market sentiment. That's when market sentiment really comes in. So market sentiment right now is it's kind of bearish, but if Bitcoin does seem to get a nice little push up, I'm expecting Cardano in the short term to possibly come back, test the 50-day, test the 100-day. We have the 200-day SMA well above us, but around 38 to 40 cent, we see the 100-day curling down. So I say around 38 to 40 cent in the short term if we can get bullish. I think a bottom for Cardano, if the market does splash, is about 25 cents. It's a psychological level as well, and we tested it all throughout September of 2023 all the way back to summer of 2023. Like you can just go back and just see how big of a support 25 cent was December 2022. So if you're an ADA bull and you think the market will pull back a little bit, set some buy orders at about 25 cent, and we may get down there.
Right on, right on. I forgot all about BGT. That is going right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get over to AVAX real quick. I'm gonna do some TA on that, and then we'll wrap this show up and bounce over to Billy Goat Tails. All right, so looking at AVAX, I've been talking about this a lot recently because this has kind of been one of the tokens I've been making plays on. All right, we had what looks like really a head and shoulders formation. We did a measure move down, and it really plays out to right here in between these two levels. But what I was looking at, it was this previous range. Okay, so this previous range here was kind of my line in the sand for AVAX, and this was about where I wanted to enter my trade, or I did enter my trade at about $20. And I played that up. Now let's go to the 4 hour. But I mean, the one thing I want to point out is look how beautifully uh, Chart Prime is really making the calls on this. So, I mean, had a market pump right here. If you would have played that up just to like where it called market dump, I mean, it did not call it perfectly. But let's just say, hey, we played it from pump to dump. Let's even just take the low side of that. That's 175% move. That's 175% move. Like, let that sink in. Now let's take it from dump. We'll take it from the high side. Let's take it from the high side just because I want to be conservative. And that's a 41% pullback. Like, dude, like this thing is pretty money on the daily. On the 4 hour is not so bad. On the daily, this thing is just absolutely fire. All right. That being said, AVAX, we're at a big line in the sand. Let's go on the 4 hour here. And that is right here at 22,765. I called this out on the one of the shows. I don't know if it was this one. It might have been on Piper Academy in the morning show. But I said dynamic reactor, just a horizontal line of resistance. I've had this up on the chart for probably a couple weeks now at this point, and that was really my line in the sand in terms of our movement. So when I say it's our line in the sand, now I'm looking for resistance. So I'm looking for resistance, but then I'm coming down to the oscillators. I'm like, all right, what are the oscillators doing? Well, you are seeing now you're getting into overbought. You are seeing it pull back a little bit, but it could just be resetting. What I see though is I see a positive money flow, and a lot of the other parts of the oscillator are still kind of trending up and right. So it could be a little bit delayed and may tell a different story on the hourly, but I wouldn't be very comfortable in taking a short is what I'm saying right now at this area of resistance. So same thing when I talk about let's look for an OC retest, I might look for a little retest of the area and then look for maybe some movement to the downside. But now I need to start seeing parts of this indicator trending down. Okay. That's what I want to see when I see that retest showing us that we're losing strength with that second touch of the area of resistance. So keep an eye on that for AVAX. Again, kind of line in the sand is $22.77. I did call this one, I think last Friday. We did have a breakout as well, and I think I talked about that on this show. But if you're looking for, where can we find support? Well, let's take this because this is clearly a significant area. So we'll just kind of extend that out. All right, so you can look for a bounce off of that trend line, or you can look for a bounce, or you just see if it comes back down to this area of support. So again, I'm really big on letting things kind of come to you in terms of price action. I don't like to chase anywhere, but we are at the top side. So, again, this is kind of what I'm looking for to play out. Well, I'm not saying it's going to play out, but this is what I would look for if I was going to look at entering into a short. Let's go over to, let's see, let me actually pull up the Billy Goat Tails here so I can push people in that direction here. All right, we got Crypto Face on. If you guys don't know who he is, he's probably one of the biggest traders in the space, and he's pretty good. He's really good. He does some really big trades. He throws around $2-3 million trades. So let's go here. And you can see it's going right now with Crypto Face. So go on, head over to Billy Goat Tails. Thank you guys so much for being part of the show tonight. We truly, truly appreciate it. If you got something from today's episode, go ahead, like and subscribe. We would truly appreciate that. We are trying to grow here. We are bringing you a lot of alpha, a lot of free content, trade setups. And that's one thing that we're going to implement more into this show is actually getting into like, hey, this is what we're looking at for trade setups that we are potentially going to take. So we're going to try to kind of bring that into the show a little bit more for you guys. With that being said, I'm going to pass it over to FD. And what do you got for the people on the way out?
Man, thanks for coming by this evening. Make sure we look out for those minutes tomorrow. They might, make the market a little shaky. And then we got Jackson Hole this weekend. Other than that, just stay safe, use stop losses, and stack up because I believe the market is going to move, and we don't want to be left behind.
Hell yeah. Awesome. I appreciate it. Hey, everybody, thanks for being here tonight. We love you. You guys stay blessed. Have a good one, and see you over at BGT. We're out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch. switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief.